Hey everyone, it is Havohai here bringing you another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. And today I'm actually doing an update of one of my old videos where I talked about the Dokkan God cards and leaders, and it's kind of a game guide. This is a great video for new players and just kind of figuring out, what are good cards and kind of how to understand this game, because this game, if you've never played it before or just getting into it, can be very confusing. So hopefully this game guide can help you understand the top tier cards that you would want to either start the game with if you're re-rolling, and what kind of cards, if you're getting them, really do. And really this game, Dokkan Battle, is really heavily focused on leader abilities, and if you have the right leader, and of course friend, this game becomes a little bit easier to maintain and to complete the events that are available. So really, I'm going to kind of start off with just something basic. You can see on the screen is all the categories we're kind of going through, but on the bottom left you actually see the little colors there, and that's what we call type advantages. And the game is based on this. A lot of gacha games, a lot of games now these days have this kind of one character is better than another character, things of that nature. And for some reason, I did it kind of backwards when I organized all these cards. So I have strength is the red one, the blue one is AGL, agility, tech is the green one, purple is intelligence, and physical is the orange one. And that's really what's going to be important for you to understand the type advantages and kind of how it all works. And I'm going to go through each one of these leads here. We have OG leads, demigods, god leads, neo god leads, super and extreme leads, rainbow leads, LR leads, and then the category leads. So this is really an update from that previous video I did a while ago, and hopefully it will help you. So let's kind of start off with understanding the basis of this game and the stats that are the most important for leader abilities, and that's plus the ki, because ki is so important in this game, because you want to get off super attacks and you want to have as much ki as possible on your teams, and then HP, attack, and defense percentage increase. Now the first category we're actually going to go to is the OG leads, which doesn't have a percentage increase, it just has a flat rate. So let's talk about these cards here. These are the original awesome cards. When you got these cards, the first year when this came out, these cards were amazing, right? These were the go-to cards. If you had these characters, you would beat the game in a sense. So you had Strength Broly, Super Saiyan 3 Goku, Perfect Cell, you had Ultimate Gohan, and Full Power Frieza. So these OG leads had that plus 3 to ki, the ki that I was talking about, and plus 3,000 flat attack. And these characters here were plus 3 to ki on its advantage, its type advantage. So Broly was plus 3 to ki and 3,000 to strength. Goku was AGL, Cell, Tech, etc., etc. So that's kind of how leaders work, and these cards here were the original ones here. Now, breaking news: while I'm recording this video, these cards are probably going to become newly viable, because there was so now you kind of know where this video was recorded. There was a V-Jump leak and scan that talked about these cards here, particularly the Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the AGL, having what we call a limit breaker. As of right now, the highest card, the highest level you can get up to that's not an LR card is 120. LRs can go up to 150. So now you're able to go up to 140, and then a super attack of 15. That's a different super attacks are a different a video on there. So this is just kind of breaking news, and so these cards are actually probably going to be more valuable, and if you don't have them, you can actually pick them up fairly easy on certain banners, and you can actually get them free when anniversaries came out. The 2-year anniversary for Global came out, and you're able to get one of these cards for free. So anyway, those were the OG leads. And on the 1-year anniversary of this game, one card came out that kind of broke the game, and that was Super Gogeta. Super Gogeta came out at the 1-year anniversary and was not a particular type, but it was all types. So you can create a team with any of these colors, any of these type advantages, and would get that +3 to ki and 3000 attack. So this card here, the one that just appeared there, the Super Gogeta, was it. If you had that card, and it's still viable today, on how incredible that card is. It's for sure, if you're a brand new player, you definitely want to try to get that card as quick as possible. So anyway, this is the OG leads. These are, you know, back in that first year. We're going on almost 2.5 years now on global, getting close to 3 years on JP. So the next step from this was introduced in really kind of 2 categories. The first one I'm going to go over here is the demigods. Now the demigods didn't have plus the ki. This was a flat boost to the HP, attack, and defense, and I was at 100%, so double in a sense their stats. So this was incredible because this was kind of the first time that something got buffed this much. But the lag for these cards here were no plus the ki. So, but these are incredible leaders to have if you have a team that really synchronize really well with ki and ki links. So the strength one was Super Perfect Cell, Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken was the AGL, the tech was Golden Frieza, and then Int Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, and then Goku Black was the physical. Now the thing about Goku Black is it is a must-have in the global version. Because he changed his passive into something really nice that gave ki. So he's actually a really great card to have on global. He's still a great card on the Japanese, the JP version, but for sure a must-have on the global. So these are the demigods, kind of the next level up past the OG leads, even though these cards kind of came out after what I'm going to show you next, which is the god leaders. These cards are still really incredible, and really, if you have, like I said, a synchronized team with ki, these can be cards that you can use to beat a lot of events. So the next one, like I mentioned, is going to be the god leads. These cards here was the meta for a year. Crazy enough, the card that came out first was the Super Vegito, the Super AGL card right there, the blue one, as you can see there. And that was another card that broke the game. So Super Gogeta broke the game, and then when Super Vegito came out, that broke the game as well. All you needed was that card, and you could virtually beat anything at the time. And he is also still currently a premier card. If you don't have him, you want to go get him. Or try for him in certain banners when he's available. If you're re-rolling, that's a great card to start off with, because it's just incredible his ability of counterattack, and only a few cards now actually even have as powerful as he is, and the counterattack and his tanking ability as well. So these 5 cards have been a staple, and like I mentioned, the best card is Super Vegito, but then you have Omega Shenron, you have God Tanks, we call them, so Super Saiyan 3 Go Tanks, the tech version, you have Buhan, and then you have Physical Broly. Now, if you were to rank all these on here, Super Vegeta would be number 1, kind of a toss-up between Buhan and Omega and God Tanks as the second slot. Those 3 cards are equally great in kind of different ways. Unfortunately, the worst card out of all these is the Extreme Physical Broly. He just doesn't have a strong dynamic when it comes to being a leader for that particular type advantage. So, by everything else, if you ran these god leads, you can beat even at this point in time probably 70 to 80% of events if you have decent enough support cards to go with these god leads here. So these god leads were +3 to ki and HP, attack, and defense 70%. Now you might go, well, isn't the demigods have 100%? Wouldn't that be better? No, that +3 to ki is so important, because if you have a friend if you have Super Vegito as a leader, and then you have a friend leader, you're gonna get +6 to ki. and you can get off super attacks a lot easier. So for your new players out there, that's so important to have, is that plus the key, so you don't have to have the RNG of the orbs that you're trying to get to do the super attack. So these god leads are all still viable, and even Broly is now a better card because other cards have made him better. So if you are working on the meta here, you definitely want to have these cards available and ready for you. So, and we'll talk about re-rolling and starting over, what cards you want to focus on, but these god leads are, like I said, still viable, still part of the meta. So now let's move on to really the next evolution to this. Oh, actually, I actually have a slide here of what are the cards that you really want to make sure you get. So this was before the V-jump scan, so I think probably the top row is going to be probably all necessary if every one of them gets this limit breaker opportunity to go to 140. But the best cards, I really think, is Super Vegito, God Tanks, and Goku Black on Global. And it's because those cards are still viable right now. If you have a ton of cards, if you have a ton of characters, those 5 here, Full Power Freeze as well, and Super Gogeta, but these cards here are still in the meta. Everything else is still great cards, but not necessarily best in slot on each of a particular team. So anyway, so let's go ahead and move on to the next evolution of these god leaders. And so this one here is, now we're going to talk about the super and extreme leads, and really we're going to start with the +1 key and then HP attack and defense 70%, and that is the Rage Trunks and the Merge Zamasu. Those two cards are incredible cards. They actually came out after the two cards I'm going to talk about next, which are incredible. But these cards here really change the meta from a particular type, so strength, all strength, or all physical, or also all the particular types had to group up what we call mono teams, mono type teams. So this broke the mold here, where you can actually just run heroes or villains. That's what super and extreme actually means. So you can have a bunch of Saiyans on, or good guy Saiyans, hero Saiyans on the Trunk team, or a bunch of villains on the Merge Zamasu team, and they work really well. Now it's only +1 a key, but like I said, if you have a good synchronized key team, that these actually work out really well. The next two cards I'm going to talk about really was the next time it broke the game. So Vegito Blue and Rose, when those two came out and those became the leaders for extreme and super type leads, it was +3 to key and HP attack defense only 50%, but you could run amazing teams, and both of these cards are probably still one of the best cards you can have in the game, is Vegito Blue or Goku Black Rose. So if you have the opportunity to get any of those cards or start your game off with either of those two, you're going to be in very good shape, especially when you were able to awaken them. So, and that's always the hard part when you're starting this game over, is to awaken some of these cards. The next card that just recently came out actually on Global is Timebreaker Bardock. That's what I call him. A lot of people call him Mass Saiyan. That's the actual translation. I still call him Timebreaker Bardock. And he's actually the rainbow lead for super and extreme leads. He's not actually a super extreme lead anymore, because you can use any character. But he is, in a sense, the better version of Super Gogeta when it comes to leader ability. Not necessarily the best as a card in itself. Super Gogeta is still an amazing card to have on the strength side there. So, but he is one of the most versatile cards you can get to start off the game. So he's a great card to re-roll for because of his versatility. But these cards really became the next meta. The God Leads still at this point in time are still kind of dominating games. You can use mono leads, mono teams, but a lot of people switched over to super and extreme leads, heroes and villains, and created those teams, and those teams were really fun. Now it kind of leads into the next scenario here, and that is kind of still the current meta, even though there's new category leads that are out. We'll talk about that in a bit. But right now, Neo God leaders are the 120 leads, and it's +3 to key, HP, attack, and defense, plus 120. And these cards were actually more limited to certain teams. It was limited to the type advantage. So, for example, Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, when those two came out, it was craziness in Dokkan. But it's also on the particular type and if it's a hero or villain. So Goku, you would to maximize this, because you can actually run a villain on this but not get the same buff. But to maximize the team here, to get the +3 to key, HP, attack, and defense 120, the Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku team needed to be run by strength type units, and there would have to be heroes or super type advantages, or super type cards, so heroes. So it was very limited to what you can actually use as a team. So, and then each and every single one from here on out, there's 10 of these Neo God leads as pertaining to the type advantage, and also if they're a hero and villain. So, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku that just came out on Global, Super Saiyan or Super Gogeta, the inversion, is probably the best Neo God lead, the 120 lead. Out of all these, so when it comes out on Global, that's going to be amazing. Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, Strength Janemba, Super 17, Super Saiyan 3 Broly. It's a weird card. He's probably one of the worst. His passive is just not very good. Kid Buu, and then Cooler, Physical Cooler. So if I were to kind of rank these, I would definitely go in Gogeta number 1. In accordance to the teams, and then I would say probably Physical Cooler number 2, then Super Saiyan 4 Goku, then probably Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku, then God Tanks, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, then probably Janemba, Kid Buu, and then Super 17, and then probably on the bottom is Super Saiyan 3 Broly. That was just a rough ranking of those, but that's kind of how I feel there. If you think differently, feel free to comment below, but these are kind of still the current meta, and it is currently the meta on Global, because all these cards even haven't come out yet on Global, but on JP it's still there. So if you have any of these cards and you're starting a game with this, and you pull one of these characters, you're gonna have a really good start, and kind of an easier start to begin with. So now let's lead into the cards that are one of the most difficult to actually summon and get, and now we're gonna talk about the LR God leads. The LR God leads consist of 5 summonable LRs, but in JP there's actually some new ones that are coming out, and even on Global some of these haven't come out yet, but these are the cream of the crop, the best of the best at this point in time in the game. If you start an account and you have one of these cards in your account, you're going to be doing very well. And these cards hit extremely hard, their passes are amazing, and all of them can really help you do the events fairly easily. So the first one is Super Saiyan 3. I'm sorry, not Super Saiyan 3, Super Legendary Super Saiyan Broly, the strength one. Then you have Majin Vegeta. Then you have LR Goku Black, Rose with Zamasu is what I call LR Rose Masu, LR Gohan, and then LR Trunks. If you were to rank these, LR Gohan is still on top, number 1, the best of the best. His passive is totally broken. If you can start a game or you can start an account with LR Gohan, you're going to be golden. You're going to be running a lot of int teams, but he's an incredible card to have if you're able to get him. So the rest of these, if you were to rank them, I would then probably go, it's tough, probably Rosemasu number 2, then Trunks number 3. Man, it's actually hard. If I were to think about it, if you were doing World Tournament, Broly is necessary, and Majin Vegeta is very good as well. Unfortunately, how Majin Vegeta is kind of with his links and how he's set, he's probably the worst out of all of them. But if you have the correct team, if you have a really good AGL team, then he actually can be one of the better ones. But his links are quite low on there. Anyway, but if you get any of these cards, congratulations, because the rates on this is like less than 1% to pull one of these, and almost virtually impossible. So so I forgot to say, it's +3 to key and HP attack defense 90% on its particular type. So it doesn't have to be extreme, doesn't have to be hero or villain, but it has to be the particular type, just kind of going back to the original way of things, like the OG leads and the God leads here. So so incredible on here. Now on JP, the meta's kind of changed a little bit on these LR cards. There's two that have recently come out that is kind of interesting. It's a +4 HP attack and defense 100, so 10% more and one more key, but only on the type advantage and if it's extreme or super. So for example, the latest one is the Bojack. It has to be an extreme type and int to receive the +4 key and then HP attack defense 100%. If you are the int version but not extreme, you can actually get +2 to key and HP attack defense 70%, which is still really good, but you're not going to get the full buff. So for example, the LR Trunks and Goten, if you're super AGL, a hero AGL, you're going to get the +4 and then HP attack defense 100%, and then if you're a villain, you'll have +2 to key, HP attack defense 70%. So what I'm thinking is what they're going to come out with is kind of so this is kind of a prediction part of the video here, is the counterpart to the original LR God leads. So for example, just kind of hear me out here, it's kind of what my thinking is. I look at patterns here, is the extreme AGL, the Majin Vegeta is extreme AGL, so thus they came out with a super AGL LR with this version of it. The LR Gohan is super int, so they came out with the Bojack, which is extreme int. So if you were to do the mirroring factor of it, so the next one that would come out would be super strength for Broly. Then you have a super tech for the Rosmasu, because extreme tech and then super tech, and then you'll have an extreme physical counterbalancing with the Trunks there. That's what I'm guessing. Who knows for sure. So when the Bojack came out, also news came out of this crazy LR, and this is this card here. This is the Spirit Bomb Goku LR, and this card is 100% broken. It is the rainbow lead for LRs. You can do any types. You can do super or extreme, hero or villain, and you'll get +3 to key, HP attack and defense 100%, and virtually you can run everything. So this card here, we kind of don't know how you get them. The name of this card is like 1,000 wishes. So on JP, 1,000 logins are coming up pretty soon, so you might have to get this as 1,000 logins. I think this is a free-to-play card as well, so this would be the best free-to-play card ever because of the skills for this, and we'll see on here. But this has been announced. This is a real card, and it's going to be fairly very difficult. I don't think it's going to be a summonable card of how it looks and everything, the team costs, and there's a lot of different things that corresponds to that information here. But when that card comes out, it is the best card out of all the cards out there. But it's going to be very difficult to get, it seems like. So if it's a login for 1,000 days, you have to log in for 1,000 days to get this card. Not too many people are going to get it, but with the people that do get it, it's going to be very incredible. So this kind of now leads me into kind of the home stretch here. We're going to talk about the current meta, which is category leads. And category leads is really dependent on well, the category that they're a part of in the leader abilities. And some of these abilities can go up to 150%, 170% with like 120% like defense, and various different things that kind of change for these. So the current meta has these cards here. You have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, which is for people that are in the fusion dance. Their fusion using the fusion dance, they'll get a 150 increase, HP attack defense 150, and then plus 30 ki, which is broken, but very, very limited to certain cards. Then you have the Omega Shenron, same thing. It's it's 150 lead here, but certain types, which is part of the if they're part of the Shadow Dragon arc, you can use and get that buff there. And then the remaining, you have Ultimate Gohan, you have Angel Golden Frieza, and then the new Ultra Instinct, the master of self-movement Goku, just came out there. He doesn't have a Dokkan Awakening, and they also are particular categories. So right now this is becoming the meta, and it's nice. We'll see how many actually category leads there will be, but these cards are incredible, and these cards actually fit very well into God leads and things of that nature. But you're probably going to run these as leaders if you have the certain category cards that corresponds with it. So so let's kind of now, in a sense, break everything down. And if you were to start the game today and had an opportunity to roll for some of these characters, or even given an account, the top tier there, the LR God leads, if you can start the game with any of those cards, you're in amazing shape. The next cards you would probably shoot for, if you can't get any of those, would be probably Vegito Blue and Rose. Now you might say, well, what about the 120 leads, the Neo God leads? Well, they're very limited. The reason why I'm showing you these cards here is because these are the more open cards that you can, when you start summoning, you can use kind of any card, or very open. So either a straight type advantage, or for example Vegito Blue and Rose, it's either just super cards or villains. So if you can't get those, then you want to get Masked Saiyan, or Timebreaker product is what we call them here, or Super Gogeta. Now those two cards are probably the weaker of all of them, but if you start off with those, it's still going to be very, very good. Now for the 120 leads, you kind of want to have an opportunity to have an additional card with it. Now I know that's very hard to re-roll and get two very, very good cards to start off with, but it should maybe look something like this. If you're able to start off the game with a Super Saiyan 4 Goku and a Gogeta, you're going to be great. If you can start off the game with a Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta with Super Vegito, amazing. So these are kind of like the counterparts if you're able to get this on here. So, and Super Saiyan 3 Angel Goku with Gotenks, God Tanks, and Boo with Boo, and then Cooler with Full Power Frieza. Now there is a caveat here. If you're on global, really it should be Goku Black. Goku Black is really, really amazing card on global, and if you start the game with these pairings, you're gonna be fine, and you'll be able to beat a lot of events, no problem, and start collecting medals as you hopefully then pull some of these additional characters and to grow your character box. So the next thing is kind of the wish list. If you were to start the game and you were to re-roll and was able to get 3 of the best all together, and if you were able to be given one of these accounts, then more power to you. If you have an LR along with a 120 lead and then another support card, you're gonna be golden. Now not everything has a 120 lead on here, so for example the merge Zamasu is going to be with Rose Masu there, so it's not a 120 lead, because the Broly, in my opinion, is just not very good. So the 120 lead on there, the Extreme Tech version of that. So if you're able to get these 3 combinations to start off the game, golden. You guys are set. It'll be one of the most powerful teams you create, because all you need is 3 other cards that are just kind of support. So anyway, this kind of really concludes what I'm talking about here, and kind of leads me into kind of the final slide here, which is going to talk about this card that just was announced, and that's the free Goku. Now once again, it's not 100% verified it's free, but if it's free, it's, in my opinion, kind of breaks the game, because it is a rainbow lead. You can use whatever type hero or villain, and it's HP attack and defense 100% with +3 to key. And it's a free card, so this type of card being free is really going to aggravate, even for me, a pay-to-play player, unless there's a pay-to-play way to receive this, if this is actually 1,000 login bonus. So we'll see what it is, but if this card is a free-to-play card that you can only get by logging in 1,000 days, then you can play 1,000 days, guys, and you don't even have to spend a dime, and just log in 1,000 days, which is a long time. That's like a little over 3 years. Yeah, it's about 3 years. Yeah, a little under 3 years. If you're able to get this, great, because it will just really break the game. And I don't know why Bandai is actually giving out this as a free card, but we'll see. It's not 100% guaranteed. But hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got some insight on how this game actually is played. I kind of went through it a little quick. This could have been like an hour video here, but now you kind of understand a little bit more about where the current meta is, who these cards are, what these cards are, you know, who do you need to be getting if you're starting this game over, if you're accumulating these cards, who you want to kind of identify and try to get certain combinations. But because there's so many characters, so many cards in this game, it is very overwhelming and very confusing. So hopefully this helps you, and hopefully you like this channel, you like this. So like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Thank you guys for your time. Long video, but hopefully you guys can keep on Dokkaning, and comment below, ask me any questions. And if you haven't followed my Twitch channel, feel free to follow that in the link below as well. Catch you guys later. Keep on Dokkaning. Catch you next time.